Welcome back, everyone, to another round of the Limitless Qualifier Free, sponsored by PCA. My name is Jesper, once again joined by Martin, and we're going to have on stream this round last qualifiers runner-up and first qualifiers day 2, UmaShankar from USA on our player perspective. And of course, welcome to you, Martin. What's up?
Hey, feels good to be back. And yeah, the matchup is going to be an old favorite, right? I think it's going to be an ADP mirror, and we've seen that before, but of course we haven't seen it with the new toys from the Rebel Clash set. So yeah, always interesting how the new cards influence old matchups, or like what new dynamics it gives the older or more known decks in that
Yeah,
sense.
that too. And we see ADP already set in to beating Dragapult in the first round today, playing that Samacentavi to beat Dragapult, and now Samacentavi is not going to be that good in this game because, of course, none of these guys are playing VMAX Pokemon. We're having an old favorite style of ADP mirror. So it's going to be go first, attach energy to ADP, and do not play the Dene down.
Yeah, that's basically the key of the mirror match, right? If you play the Dene before an ultimate ray happens, you just instantly lose most of the time.
Yeah,
So
otherwise
be
it's going to be
very
really hard to
wary.
pull back from, and perhaps if you can, if there's only one station in play, if you knock out your opponent's station or your own station, your opponent might not have any response if you don't have your identity down. So therefore, it's a really big key to avoiding ultimate raid knockouts to have your identity away from the bench, or
Yeah,
just don't play it at all.
but pretty strong start from both players. Right there, both getting the turn one attachment and the Zacian down to refill their hands for the next turn. Are we even getting to Stellar Wish? Um, I'm thinking about like the dynamic of Scoop Up Net removing one prizer, so like maybe that's relevant for the matchup, but I'm still not sure. Because usually how it goes is like you take two knockouts on V or GX Pokemon, and that is what closes out the game. But yeah, it's going to be interesting how it plays out there. But yeah, really strong start from RV, getting double Saucer on turn one. Super strong. Even Intrepid Sword to follow it up. Just getting some more cards to his hand, some more pieces to work with for the next turn.
Yeah, that too. And we're gonna, like we see here, that Avi has a really good starting up board with the station with 2 energies on it. And if his opponent does not smack down a second station, Avi can go really aggressive in this matchup and just knock out station here, go for ADP GX afterwards, and then knock out ADP for the last 4 prizes. So this matchup changes dynamics really quickly. And going first or second doesn't really matter because the guy going second can always really overrumple the one going first. So it's really interesting to see this, and there's always many dynamics to this ADP mirror match that can always change.
Yeah, it's one of the most reactive mirror matches. I think it's not like just. I mean, of course, if your opponent whiffs and you don't, of course, then the game's over. But if you both are able to play a normal game, then the dynamics change so much during the course of the game because he is just so flexible with taking these extra prize cards, and um, just there are many routes to victory. Um, yeah, so it's going to be interesting for sure. But both players getting the altered creation, you know, that's just your standard setup, just what you want to see. And after that, we can start to play for like huge one-turn knockouts, like one hit knockouts and huge swing turns maybe.
Yeah, so after the ADP GX is used, the game goes really fast, and we only take 2 to 3 turns before it ends. So usually that depends totally on the player's draw, but in normal games it would take 2 to 3 turns after the ADP GX to end the game really. So it's really interesting what these guys draw off it, and we already see really strong starts from both players. Really fortunate for us, so we can have a good match here.
Yeah, there we see that's another really neat combo of the new set, right? The Mewtwo put the Professor's Research on top of the deck, and then the Jirachi was immediately able to bring it to the hand. So I think players have been favoring the Mewtwo with the Mind Report ability over a copy of Elder Ghost V, just because it doesn't give up 2 prizes, and
That too, and also
you can
like
use it.
we used Mewtwo before with Jirachi for Welder, but now that Boss Orders, I think Boss Orders the card to change the dynamic of Mewtwo totally here, and Jirachi decks especially, because now when you want your Boss Orders, you can just simply just get it with Mewtwo and Jirachi, because usually I always have a Jirachi down with a skateboard, you have Scoop Up Net to get it back, and all that kind of stuff. So you have really a ton of options to get your supporters back, and also creates more consistency mid game because you have more outs to getting your Professor's Research, draw your cards, or to get your Boss Orders to grab that final knockout instead of having to flip heads on a Pokemon catcher like we did last format.
Also, reusing it with Scoop Up Net is just so broken. It adds on onto that you can get even multiple uses out of it, and if you're able to, like, you don't even have to use the supporter you recover, right? You can even just use it to get back. If you had to throw away 2 bosses order turn 1, fine. You just go Mewtwo and then you Mani eventually, and then you put the boss's order back into your deck at some
Yeah, and
point.
it's
So
also really good against Marnie, this Mewtwo, because when Marnie gets played, you draw from the top. So if you Mewtwo the turn before, and you know you're getting Marnie to for your opponent trying to disrupt you, you know that you're going to get a supporter card. You know that you're going to get more options out of what you're going to get.
yeah,
And therefore, it makes Marnie less strong against these, for example, ADP decks. And also, speaking of Scoop Up Net, it gets played in every single Jirachi deck now because you can reuse Jirachi as well. You can do so many things with Scoop Up Net and Jirachi that it definitely just blows everyone's mind when you're seeing, like, even these really focused Pokemon V or Pokemon GX decks using Scoop Up Net to their advantage, even though Scoop Up Net seemed like a card that was only going to be used in non-GX decks.
yeah, it's so amazing to see, and I think the meta and the decks will refine over the course of this format, and I am really interested in seeing at what point we will end up. And in this game, I think Avi has played himself into a better position than Kane, his opponent, because Avi only needs to take out um, one more GX or V Pokemon, and Kane needs to take out the ADP on the bench, and he doesn't have his station set up. So I think
We
Avi
see
is ahead in tempo right here.
you also see Avi getting a bit impatient with his opponent here, but of course it could still be hard with many options of Jirachi. So of course we do have timer on for these games in the PGO, so we don't have to intervene by judging because I don't think this round's never gonna go to time.
No, no way. If you're able to take 4 prizes in one turn, then usually the game won't go to time. Sometimes I miss those grindy games a little bit, but a lot of times it's only good if the game is fast, because then you're able to finish more games in a quicker amount of time. Here we see Metal Goggles come down, not relevant in this matchup, but overall I think a really interesting inclusion because it protects your Pokemon from the damage counter that the Dragapult VMAX places.
Yeah, even more hate against Dragapult this tournament. Other than the Summer Center we've been seeing with its assault tackle and the blocking ability. So really some awesome stuff heading into this.
Here we see Great Catcher on the ADP. Not going to knock it out this turn, most likely, but just trapping it in the active and forcing your opponent to be able to respond. And Avi, his hand is okay. If he has a Dedenne left, then he only needs a switch to win, but I don't know if there's a Dedenne left in his deck. There is, actually. So if he gets a switch and the boss's order on the bench Dedenne, then that's the game.
Especially that, and let's see how that will end up, because Avi just has to get out of the active now to
Yeah.
take this game, and
And
he
they're-
got it.
Yeah, there are two switches. Avi was able to apply a lot of pressure. KOing your opponent's station is usually the way to go if there are no easy prizes on the board. And by that, you put your opponent behind in a way where they have to find a lot more things to recover. So Avi playing it really well. Both players not missing a beat, but he was able to play out, play from a position where he was going second and execute the strategy very well and just
Yeah,
show us how to swing the momentum around, right?
definitely. He executed that perfectly, and Avi, well on his way back to a finals return. And how much of a Cinderella story could that be? Like Avi getting back-to-back finals again, and hopefully, if he gets back to finals this time,
Yeah,
he should think about getting the win.
Yeah, he's moving on to 6-1 record, so pretty confident to at least make or comfortable to make it at least today too. So yeah, really really nice. And I would love to see a player like him who's like not that well known in like real life tournaments, but he's really
very well known on Twitter, at least.
he has had, like as you said, huge performances, and yeah, just insane to see. And hopefully we'll see him again in the
Exactly,
late tournaments
and
tomorrow.
speaking of Avi, with these accomplishments in the online qualifiers, maybe this will translate over to physical play once the coronavirus has gone down a bit, and then we can see Avi performing well at, for example, US regionals.
Yeah, that would be insane. So I think all games for this round, or like all pools for this round, have concluded. So I don't know. There was a lunch break, but I don't know how long it will be for. I think we will be back in a very very short time, if I recall correctly. And yeah, we see you soon after short break.
See you soon.
Make money today